Well, I was just looking at the depth chart going into training camp, and it was Mbidi Williams at one corner spot and Andrew Duhart at the other. I know things have changed now. I know Mbidi is now working at safety. I know Andrew's still in the mix, but I believe the last time I was out there, you and Elias Larry were running with the ones. Just kind of tell us where things are with the cornerback competition.
So yeah, once Embiid left, me and Elias had came off of surgery in the spring, and I was still recovering from my surgery back in December. Yeah, back in December. So we kind of like missed out kind of on spring ball, and we just like kept working our way back up. And then once BD moved over to safety, then it was like we started getting more and more reps, and then we kind of like worked our way back up to the starting spots that we had.
So, am I correct that you missed part of training camp, if you will, of summer? Where somebody said something about you coming back. Did you miss some time this training camp?
So the only thing I missed was like all of spring ball. I didn't. I started like gradually practicing within like the last few practices, but they like set me out spring ball so I could just focus on recovery. Um, and then once I was like full go, once the summer came, back doing everything.
So the injury you sustained required off-season surgery.
So I got the surgery like right after the Notre Dame game. So from that point up until I would say like May, the end of the school year, I was just like it was just strictly treatment, rehab, getting back healthy. And then from that point until now, I was back like full workouts.
And you're 100% healthy.
Yes, sir.
So, what are you working primarily at boundary corner or field corner? I know it's supposed to be interchangeable, but usually they list you guys at one or the other. Which one are you playing? Which one's Elias playing?
So right now, I'm at field corner and Elias is at boundary. But like during practice, like we intertwine, just kind of play sides. But primarily, I'm a field corner right now.
What do you feel you bring to the table? What are your attributes?
Um, I'll say like I'm a pretty physical corner. Um, I'll say like being that I played receiver, I kind of know. I feel like I have an upper hand on like receiver tendencies. I kind of know what they're gonna do, how they run their routes, and I think like having that knowledge from like playing the other side of the ball has helped me a lot. Really, it just made like reads easier, like alignments. It helped me get better reads on alignments. Really like concepts with routes, and then like I said, like I feel like I'm a very physical corner. Like I like to come up and make tackles, and I think those two together, like I wouldn't say put me over the edge, but I feel like that's like giving me a little bit of an advantage.
Wags, anything else?
Yeah, one last. When did you make the switch from receiver? Was that the spring of plebe year?
Yeah, yes, it was the spring going into my youngster year.
All right,
I'm
Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Dashaun, what did you learn from that game last year against Notre Dame? I think you had 6 tackles before you were injured. What did you learn that you think is going to help you when you guys play them in Dublin?
Um, I think that was a big confidence game for me, even though I got injured. Uh, I've never like played on that level of football, at least like not against a team like Notre Dame. And for me to be out there, be able to go out there and like actually compete and like make plays, it like definitely helped my confidence. And then I would say I would say it brought us together closer as a team because like even though we were down, like nobody like dropped their head. Like coaches told us just go out there and like continue to fight, which we did. We almost pulled it out, but I feel like games like that, like the bigger games, I feel like they bring us together as a team more. Uh, and it like helps with the experience. Like coming up now, I feel like nobody's gonna look at it as, oh, we're playing Notre Dame. That's like a harder team. Of course, like the people on the outside will, just because of the two statures of the schools. But I feel like us as a team know that we can compete with them, which we have done. So I think it's like a big confidence booster coming in.
Coming out of a high school hotbed like the Tidewater area, was one of the things that maybe swayed you towards Navy away from some of those other great schools that were looking at you, as the fact knowing that you would play a team like a Notre Dame every year?
That was a big part of my decision, really. So like most people probably don't know about the Naval Academy before, like they hear about football or they get offered. Most people really don't know about the Naval Academy, but I feel like once the opportunity presented itself to me, and I like did more research about the teams they play, like the conference, I was like, that's like a pretty good situation where I can have like stability with school and then like a job and then still playing on like a high Division I level of football. So that definitely played a part.
And what's it been like this week now as the practice focus gets away from fall camp into full preparation for Notre Dame?
Um, it's still been a grind, really. I would say nothing really much changed from fall camp, but I feel like our focus is strictly like for Notre Dame game. Uh, I know fall camp we like practice. We kind of went through a lot of different installs, but now we're kind of like toning down and figuring out what we want to play actually for Notre Dame game. But I feel like the intensity of practice has still been the same.
How fired up are you and your teammates to be playing Notre Dame to start the season?
Uh, like I said, last year was a big confidence booster. So I feel like we're ready. I feel like we had a great off season, great spring. I feel like we just have like a fire under us that just want to come prove people wrong. Um, yeah, it's pretty much it. I think we're gonna come out prepared.
Thanks a lot.
So,
Randy Cross.
Hey, Dashaun, Randy Cross from CBS. In this defense, being a part of this defense, how much does it play into the confidence of how you can play? Basically, the way the rest of that defense functions, it's so aggressive. It gets into guys' heads at times, especially the guys behind center playing quarterback. How much does that play into it?
I would say it kind of goes hand in hand. Like we play an aggressive defense. So, once again, it's just another confidence booster. Like knowing that you can line up against a guy, and sometimes being man is kind of like best on best. You want to work on yourself. You want to prove that you're like you can actually like play with these guys in our conference. I think our defense does a really good job of making like the offenses nervous because we're kind of like unpredictable what we're gonna do. Uh, I feel like we show a lot of disguises in our defense. I feel like we just have we just have really good disguises that kind of throw quarterbacks off.
All right. Can you do a little self-scouting for us and talk some about the guys you've been seeing in practice over the last few weeks? Those receivers on the other side of the ball, maybe, the guys that have really stood out to you, both the ones that we know about and maybe a young guy or so that hasn't gotten that much attention.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody who stood out to me like since the beginning of camp was like Jaden Umbarger. I kind of like went up to him after like the third day of camp and was like, what did you do this off season? Because I just seen like a major like increase in like, he kind of resembled more of the receivers that we might play in conference, whereas in the past years, our receivers don't really get that much love on offense, but this camp, he definitely showed like a great improvement from like the past years. It's kind of like, it definitely made us better. Him, Corey Myers, Kamari Williams, those guys like that, they really like work us every day. And it's been something that's just been different from like the past years. And I feel like at least Jaden and Kamari, they're seniors. So I feel like they felt like this is their last year. They've done everything it takes to make us better as a whole team, which I can say they definitely have done.
Is that improvement include route running and how they're coming out of their cuts and things like that?
Whether it's route running, like backside blocking, they would like chase us across the field, run with us. Just everything as a whole, it just you could just tell they put in a lot of work this offseason, which is going to make the team better.
Who has stood out to you defensively on your own unit? Somebody like Umbarger that you went, hey, where'd this jump come from? How come you've improved like this?
I would say it started like in spring. Jackson Campbell, he got switched to defense. He played striker. That was nobody. We only knew him. We knew that he was like a hard worker, but nobody ever like seen him play defense, and he had like a really good spring. That was like a kind of like a surprise. Nobody expected that really, but he like proved himself. Who else? I would say Mbidi Williams being able to switch to safety. I feel like that's not the easiest thing to do, especially in our defense, because at corner you have to know you really want to know everybody's job, but at safety you literally have to know everybody's job to like a T, and like you're basically running the defense. So I feel like that big switch for him, that was big. That was big, and I think he's handling it well. Let's see. Andrew Duhart, another corner. He definitely had a great spring, and he's definitely gonna play some valuable downs for us this year.
That's great. Thanks.
Pete Medhurst.
Dashaun, when I say the names Keandre Lambert, E.J. Gibson, C.J. Beasley, what do those names mean to you?
Just like lifetime brothers, you know. Been through a lot with them guys. Been through good times, bad times. They're just forever friends, you know. Like those guys that you don't forget. Like after high school, we still keep in touch to this day. We're all in the group chat. We're just like really good friends. I consider them like real like brothers.
To see Keandre doing what he's doing up at Penn State, surprised at all about what he's doing?
No, I'm not surprised. He's been doing that really since like sophomore year of high school. I would say I didn't know how it would turn out for him at Penn State, but him as a player, I knew he would like rise to the occasion. He's always done that. But you know, you just never know what people go through in their own position. Like I don't know how he was like with the coaches. I don't know like what he's going through like with his teammates. But as far as football wise, I always knew that he would rise to the occasion.
Did you get to go both ways on that team, or did you only have to play one way?
Oh no, I started at receiver, and then I started at corner, and then sometimes I started at safety.
An issue last year was too many big plays in the passing game, giving up deep balls, having balls thrown over people's heads. Eric Lewis was brought in here in part to correct that problem. Well, where do we stand, Navy football, as far as the secondary locking down? I know we'll learn a lot when Sam Hartman starts trying to throw deep balls on you in Dublin, but do you feel like that problem's been corrected?
This offseason, that's been like one of the main things we've harped on, especially in the cornerback room. One of like our core values is to protect like the deep ball. So I feel like the coaches, especially defensive coaches, have done a great job emphasizing that we cannot get beat deep. Just knowing our defense type, we want to like protect the deep balls and rally up on like the shorter passes. So I feel like we've definitely been working on it this whole time. So it's definitely going to be better.
Now, a lot of that's a byproduct of the pressure the Navy brings. A lot of times when Coach Newberry dials up a blitz, it leaves guys out on an island. I mean, is that a tough situation. The fact that when he wants to get aggressive, sometimes you're locked in one-on-one coverage, which is not always a great matchup.
So in cases like that, Coach Newberry puts a big emphasis on it to the linebackers and the D line that to kind of help us out. He emphasizes them to hit home on the blitzes because he know we're back there, and the way we sometimes play our man to man, it may not sometimes we're dependent on the blitz to hit home where we want the ball to come out quick, stuff like that. So he puts a big emphasis on just our team helping us in the back end, really.
All right, very good. I'll pass it off to someone else.
Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Dashaun, what does it mean for you to be able to play for a position coach like Coach Green, who's not only accomplished college football cornerbacks coach, but also someone who has walked in your shoes, has done everything that you have done when he played at the Naval Academy?
I don't know. I kind of find it as a blessing. The first time I talked to Coach Green was say the end of going into my senior year. He was just real genuine from the start, and this was before I knew him as a coach. He was just a real genuine person. And then once I got to come play for him, it's just it's still the same. It just translates from now. He cares about us as people, as a man. He cares about our future. Not only does he care about us as football players. So it's been a real blessing. He's been a real mentor. He talks to us about after football, after college, money investments. You don't find that too many places where you just have a real genuine coach.
Thank you.
Randy.
Good.
Pete.
Hopefully this is working now.
Yeah.
Okay. Dashaun, going up against guys like Keandre and EJ, in high school, how much did that prepare you, obviously, now for where you're challenging every day to be a number one corner in Division I football?
I would say it was a lot of head-to-head competition. That's just what our kind of at our school, Maury. It was just all around competition between the coaches, players, teams versus teams. It was just the school was just based around competition. So going against that every day, it definitely helped. But it prepared me to not have any worries about my opponent, because I know the work that I put in. I know the work that the team has put in, and I feel like we have the upper hand if it comes to strictly hard working. I feel like as a team we're one of the best.
I mean, I worked down there for a couple of years broadcasting high school football, so I know the area pretty well. Did you guys even fathom and gather what you all had accomplished, for a city school that wasn't named Booker T. Washington, and that obviously has the basketball tradition? People think of Joe Smith usually first and Coach Baker, but did you all grasp really what you all had accomplished down there for your community, considering it had been so long since Maury had been a factor in football?
We definitely did at the time, but now we look back on it to this day and think about wow, we really did that. We really went undefeated, won a state championship. Not too many people can say that, whether that's in our area, the cities around. Not too many people can say that. So that's gonna stick with us for a lifetime, I would say, because even now it's been about 4 years. We still look back on it like it was yesterday. Just a lot of good memories.
What is it about that area, in your opinion, that just seems to bring the best out of athletes? I mean, it really is an area where if you don't bring it every day, you get left behind.
Yeah. I would say because there's so many athletes around the area, you have to find what makes you different. Everybody's going to be out there working hard. Everybody's going to do this and that, but you have to find out your why, and you just have to accomplish it. I would say like the Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk area, there's been like a ton of athletes.
Yeah.
But it's just always been something that will set you over the edge against someone else.
Was there a mental late in the season last year, because you were playing such good football at the time you got hurt? As an athlete, what's the frustration factor like? Because you were really starting to make a name for yourself, and then obviously an injury takes you off the field.
Of course, it was tough in the beginning, but I wasn't like too like down about it. Like I prayed a lot. I trusted God. I knew He would like lead me in the right direction. So, I just took my situation and just tried to make the best out of each situation that I like came across.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Dashaun. Appreciate you. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
I got one outside of Dashaun Peele. Who is the greatest athlete to come from that Tidewater region?
Tidewater region. It's I can give you like a top.
Dashaun, that list could be this long.
Yeah,
I'll help you out. I'll help you out. Allen Iverson.
There is only one correct answer, and that's Allen Iverson.
I don't know. Michael Vick.
I know. No, you're right.
Ronald Curry.
Cam Chancellor.
It's Vic or Iverson though.
Yeah.
They're all great athletes, but Vic or Iverson that's the two I was thinking of.